Oh, hi there. Hold on. Alright, that's better. Hi, my name's Began. I just moved to Minneapolis from DC about a month ago. So I've moved out around a bit. I was born in California, and then when I was about 8, my parents moved us to Virginia, and I grew up and went to college in Virginia. Then around 2011, my husband's job transferred him out to Las Vegas, so we lived there for about 5 years, which we absolutely loved living there. And then a couple years ago, his job moved us to DC, and so we've been living there for the past 3 years. So we recently decided to move to Minneapolis, and so this is our third move together. We find that we actually kind of like moving. It's a time for a restart, and you get to learn a lot about the new place. So we love researching. We watch tons of YouTube and TV and read blog posts and Reddit and all that kind of stuff to get ready. Move, I've read a ton on Reddit, specifically the subreddits r/Minneapolis, r/Twin Cities, and r/Twin City Socials. There's lots of useful advice in there. What type of winter clothing to get, where to live, what are good neighborhoods. Also, oftentimes people will be like, oh, I have a craving for this kind of food, or I'm looking for this, and people will answer, and there's oftentimes like tons of answers and options. So that's been really good. Both places I've been getting ramen here, I found from Reddit, so that's been really useful. And I learned about getting wool socks from Costco, which my feet have never been cold, so I'm very thankful for that tip. And then my husband got some mittens from Fleet Farm that have been super warm that I also heard about on Reddit, among some things that we've learned. It's a really great resource. I would suggest reading through past posts to see if your question's already been answered. If you have questions about cars, tires, winter clothing, they've been answered a million times, so just look through. Several times a week someone's asking, saying they're moving here, or what should they get. They're up there. I think in r/Minneapolis, I think there's even like a sticky. I'm not sure, but you can definitely already find that information, so just read the past posts. And then like if you have specific questions, like you're looking at living in these two neighborhoods and this is what you're looking for, that can be a good thing. But to just tell someone you're 23 and you're moving to Minneapolis, where should I live, you're not going to really get a good response. So I would just suggest try to do all your own research, and then use them for stuff you just can't tell from online research. So those are really useful. Also, there's a subreddit called r/Twin Cities Housing. It's not super active, but you can always try posting there too about like housing questions. You're looking for a roommate and stuff, but it's not super active. I'd say I'm pretty disappointed in the Minneapolis content on YouTube. There really isn't much. Occasionally you can find a vlog, but they're really just not many, and honestly I didn't really find any that I really liked that I thought were useful. But on YouTube I do watch WCCO, the 734. They have like a little news show in the morning. They also put other clips or whatever, so it's like local news here. And so we've been watching that since before we moved, just to like get a vibe of like what's going on and and I really enjoy that. So we watch that now still, so it's just something to watch, and get a little Minneapolis content. They'll do like restaurant reviews and stuff, kind of stuff, so it's kind of useful. I mean, it's still like, morning news. Just watch some Midwest content. So You Betcha is hilarious. I suddenly have a strange craving to drink bush latte all the time, so that's really funny to kind of get you in like the Midwest mindset a little bit, I guess. And then also the Manitowoc Minute, Charlie Barnes, I think it is. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I like his stuff's really funny, and him and the You Betcha guy do like collaboration videos too. So I watch those. to, I don't know, learn more about Midwest culture, I guess. And they're just really funny. So I love those. It for YouTube, I couldn't find anything else, so kind of bummed out about that because I watched tons of videos about DC before I moved to DC. And Vegas, I wasn't as into YouTube at that time, so I think I just watched like movies and stuff, but a little bummed about that. And then as far as TV, watching, of course, Mary Tyler Moore. And we watched a lot of Life Below Zero. I know they're in Alaska, but I just thought seeing all the snow and the cold would like get me in the mood to be in the snow and the cold. And then also I'd go on Twitter and Instagram and just follow local breweries and restaurants and hashtags related to where I was moving. There's nothing that really stands out, but it's, you follow one person and then you see something else. So give you an idea of like what there is to do. So I think that was important, but nothing that's like, oh, this is the one I go to, this is I really like. I'd say my favorite thing for getting information is Reddit. Our friends and family think we're a little bit crazy for moving to Minneapolis, but this is the first time we've ever got to pick where we live, and we're really excited about this choice. The main reason we decided to move to Minneapolis is because of the lower cost of living and the good walkability score. We both don't drive, so we need to be able to get around either on foot or public transportation or bike. And we've been living in a tiny apartment in DC, and we really needed space for an office. We were using our kitchen as an office, and it was just not ideal. It just felt crowded. We never wanted to be in our apartment because we felt like all of the stuff was closing in on us, but we couldn't get rid of any of our stuff because all of that stuff we needed to do our job. So it just wasn't possible. We needed a bigger space, but we didn't want to move out to the suburbs for more space. We still wanted to live in the middle of a city. So that's why we chose Minneapolis. Besides those main two reasons, we're excited for a lot of things in Minneapolis. First off, snow. I know maybe we'll change our mind, but we both love the snow. We've never got to live somewhere where it consistently snows, so we're really excited about the snow. We've been here about a month, and I love watching it snow. I love watching the snow plows. I do hide inside generally when it snows, but we still go out when we need to. So we're excited about that. Additionally, we're really excited about the breweries and just beer culture here. If you're into beer, everything's going more towards drinking local beers, and the local beer in DC I wasn't a huge fan of, except for Aslan. Aslan is amazing, and they're actually technically in Virginia. I just thought the beer culture was going downhill. Beers that we used to be able to find in DC we couldn't find anymore, and so it's kind of a bit of a bummer. But so far in Minneapolis, we've really loved the breweries and selection of beer. We really love Fair State Mirror Universe is one of our favorites so far, and then also Surly Darkness, but we're always trying to try new local Minnesotan beers, so we've been really enjoying the selection of beer here. Also, goes without saying, we're excited about all the cheese. You can get so much good cheese everywhere, so we've been enjoying that. When we were visiting, I got several Bloody Marys because I was on vacation, and they all came with cheese on them, which I thought was funny. I've never had a Bloody Mary that had cheese on it, but that was pretty cool. So we're excited about that. Another thing that we're really excited about is the artist and maker culture here. There's a lot of artists and makers. There's a lot of maker spaces. In fact, our apartment building even has like a maker room that has like tools and supplies for doing projects, and we would both consider ourselves, I like to call it hobby boys. We always have tons of hobbies and love creating and making things. So we're really excited to make more stuff, and also see what other people are making, consume art from local artists or pottery from local potters. So we're really excited about the artist and maker culture here, and it's especially good in the area where we live, in the Northeast. The thing we're really excited about is being within walking distance of the baseball stadium. So that's really exciting. We love baseball. We go to as many games as we can, and we got to, when we were visiting here in September, see the Nats play the Twins, and the stadium was absolutely beautiful. We had a great time. So we're really excited about that. When we lived in DC, we weren't that close to the baseball stadium, so we had to take the metro, and the metro often closed down during late games, and so you either had to leave and miss the end of the game or stay and try to get an Uber home, which would be really difficult. And so oftentimes we would find ourselves taking the train and missing the last inning. And one time we even missed a grand slam, and that was a really big bummer. So really excited that we can just walk home from the baseball stadium and be able to go to more baseball games. Because we love going to baseball. We're also within walking distance of the football stadium and then the hockey/basketball arena, which we do plan on going to some games. We went to a couple college basketball games when we were in DC, and we went to one hockey game, and that was okay. We've never been to a football game before, like a pro football game before, so we're excited to go to our first one, but we really love baseball. And additionally, the Twins and Nats are in different leagues, so we feel like it'll be pretty easy to root for both teams. I don't know much about the Twins yet. We've been starting to follow them since we knew we were going to move here, but we're very big Nats fans. But since we're going to be here, we're going to root for both, of course. Along with the walkability, we have really nice bike paths here, and it's easy to get around on a bike, so we're excited about that. My husband has a scooter like the Bird one, and bike, and he would use that a lot in DC. I normally just went around on foot. I'm a little I didn't like biking in DC because just I was worried about getting yelled at by people for being in the street or being on the sidewalk or this or that, and like people do, like my husband said people would yell at him when he was following the rules, but he has like a little bit of a tougher exterior than me. He'd just say fuck you and move on, as I would be like upset for the rest of the day and been like, I should have done something different. So I never biked in DC because I was worried about that, but it seems like there's more like bike paths are like off to the way, and it's just not as crowded as DC, and people are so nice here, so I'm optimistic. I really want to start biking now that we're here, probably in the spring though. I don't have a bike yet, so maybe for my birthday. My birthday's in April, but I need to do some research on what kind of bike to get. We're also really excited about the Scandinavian culture. My husband's grandfather is from Sweden, and he still has some distant relatives that still live in Sweden, so we're excited about experiencing more like Swedish food and Swedish culture, so we're excited about that as well. A little bit about us. We run a small e-commerce business together called Vegan Industries, and we sell enamel pins, patches, NFC tags, and a couple other things on Etsy, Amazon, and just our own website. So we make part of our income doing that. We've been doing that for, I don't know, at least 5 years, I'd say. And so we do that. Additionally, I walk dogs on Rover, although I haven't been so successful since I moved here, but I did it a lot when I lived in DC, and it's super fun. I get to walk all the dogs and pet all the cats, so I enjoy doing that. My husband is a freelance computer programmer, and just before moving here, he had been, in addition to doing freelance computer programming on the side, he had been an audio producer for the past 12-ish years, maybe more. And so he quit that job when we moved here, but he's still planning to do some podcast editing here. He just hasn't had time yet. He's been busy doing computer programming. So like I've been saying, there's not a ton of YouTube Minnesotan/Minneapolis content, so that's what to expect from me. Our daily life as Minnesotans, freelancers, and small business owners. If that's something you're interested in, subscribe. If you like this video, you can give it a like. My next video, I'm planning to do an office tour. We're actually in my office right now, which I share with my husband. So I'll do a tour. We spent a lot of time trying to plan it out. I think it looks pretty nice and it's pretty functional. So that'll be the next one. Should be up next Wednesday. And just don't forget to subscribe to Nerd City. I don't know how he doesn't have 1 million subscribers, so get on that now. And I'll see you next time. Bye.